And welcome back to By the Railside podcast, movie reviews. My name is Zach, and with me today I have Justin, Jeff,
I got a calendar of pooping cats.
that's unfortunate, and Jordan.
Choo choo.
And in this week's movie review, we reviewed Midsommar. And to tell us a little about this wonderful tale, we'll take it over to Justin.
After the main character, who I forget her name.
Danny.
What?
Danny.
After her sister does the old murder-suicide on her parents, she is grieving, and her boyfriend that was planning on dumping her and then going on an impromptu journey to Sweden feels guilted into not doing that and taking her with him. So she goes to Sweden immediately after that, and it's a cult. And in the cult, they take the seed of some of them, kill most of them, and keep one for good measure.
I prefer the term religion.
Oh,
Cult
let's
is a
Yeah, I didn't see any Kool-Aid. Actually, wait, that's a lie.
It was dandelion Kool-Aid. It's a new flavor.
Most of it had mushrooms in it, and some of it had period blood.
Just one
But
of
you
them.
know,
Speaking of which, the podcast this week is sponsored by Pew Pie.
pew pie.
Come get you some.
And yeah, basically, in the end, she finds a family that actually supports her, and he gets punished for being a douchebag by burning inside of a bear corpse. The end.
Other than the burning part, I think like having like a bear suit would be pretty neat. Walking around like I'd join the cult. Be like, you know what? Give me the suit. Don't burn me. I'll just be the bear for the rest of my life.
I like the first time we see the bear, they're like, "Are we not going to talk about the bear?" And he's just like, "It's a bear." And that's it.
The Americans didn't see shit. They're just like, yeah, no, there's a bear in a cage right here. But more importantly, what's that yellow house? Why is that one a different color?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a 0 out of 10 for me because they killed a bear and I love bears. So
How do you know it didn't die of natural causes during that time?
it was alive and then they gutted it and stuffed a human in it.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a couple days that passed. I mean, they could have just been starving the bear in the cage. So that is a
Oh,
natural
that's-
cause.
I naturally starved to death.
Yeah, I mean, natural by design, but
All right, so me, Jeff, and Justin watched this a year ago. Justin was stoned. I was liquored up. Now,
I was sober.
This was Jordan's first time watching it. So let's get his reaction first.
what do you mean my reaction? Just
It's like, how did you feel about the film? How did it make you feel?
uh,
How do you feel now?
I feel like I don't want to go to Sweden, and also I'm never gonna trust a foreigner. It's like, hey, you want to come and like meet my family back home? We live way out in the woods. Be like, haha, you're gonna murder me and steal my sperms. I don't trust you. No, but like I liked the movie. I thought it was very interesting. A lot of the visual effects, like other than I'm not talking about the drugs, I'm talking about like the scenery they used was very good. It was very impactful. Although I mean, the timeline is kind of skewed because they don't really show. It's all sort of implied, like when the sister did the suicide murders. That was like 6 months ish. I want to say from the trip to Sweden.
Yeah.
But it's never really said. It's just, yeah. The boyfriend was like, yeah, we're going on a trip in June. 2 weeks. Also, he was.
Yeah, I guess it was snowing when they killed. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, because like I was wondering why. Because when she was espresso depresso in the bed, just staring at the wall, and he came in, he was like, "Hey, how you doing? You sleeping? You tired?" I was like, "Okay, that if it was right after they fucking died, you're an asshole. You're a huge asshole.
Yeah.
Go jump out a window."
I mean, he is a huge asshole the whole
Yeah.
movie, though.
But not as big as I thought in the beginning. because there's like, okay, it's like 6 months past, so he's still an asshole, but not as big as I thought. Although he is a giant piece of shit throughout the movie. Like, yeah, my girlfriend's coming to Sweden that I wanted to dump 6 months ago. Also, I told her that you guys all encouraged me to invite her, so act happy about it.
Yeah.
The only one happy about it is the guy who's going to get a new family member.
Yeah, I think he's pretty pumped.
Yeah, I mean, breeding diversity, that's all it was about. That's why he was pumped, because the ones that didn't bring a viable female back got deaded. Or they sacrificed their lives in the burning flame.
No, those were volunteers.
Except for his brother. His brother wasn't. His
Yeah.
brother, it was between him and his brother. Whoever had like brought the best people, basically,
Oh, right.
didn't
And both
get
of his,
to go in the thing.
yeah, both of his had to be murdered prematurely. So
Yeah.
yeah, I fucking love the like audio and visuals in this movie. Like especially like the super long shots they do, and like they do a really good job of show don't tell. Like the whole intro scene, like before the title, with the murder suicide thing, it's all just like these super long shots, and like the music is just like so ominous, and it just really sells the story of grief. And yeah, I just fucking love like the super long shots. Like they do transitions, but like they're super like you always get like a good shot of like the person's face and like how they're feeling. And then like those mirror shots they do where like she's sitting in the doorway and then like you can see him but he's just in the mirror. And then the same thing happens when she first comes into the apartment, like after he said like, yeah, I told her you guys invited her and whatnot. And then like that whole conversation is just like them two in the mirror. So I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, and some of the transitions I thought were really well done. I think
Yeah,
was
like
one...
to the airplane, that was another good one too.
Yeah, that one was super clean. I commented on it when it happened because I thought it was that good. And they really do use the visuals and the music well to draw you into the scenes. Like normally,
yeah, this movie immerses you hardcore if you're like willing to, anyways. But
normally when like me and Zach watch movies, we can crack back and forth for the entire thing, but there was a lot of scenes where we were just silent. And I don't know if that was because I was just like drugged up looking at the pretty things.
No, I had also, because I had seen it, and it's like usually if I watch a movie before you do, I like to I encourage oh this part's like crazy, but this one I didn't want to like say anything because this movie fucking goes to like Mach 2 very early.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing is like just an insane roller coaster ride where you do get like a calm moment and then all of a sudden it's just it fucking goes up to 100 again and you're like, what is happening?
It does it such a good job where you'll have like this peak like fucked up shit and then it'll lull you for like a good 30 minutes until you're like, okay, and then it's like, okay, now there's old people jumping off cliffs, get fucked, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to happy again and then it's like, oh god, everyone's on fire. Yeah, I fucking love that shit.
I didn't understand like the two guys. I guess the one guy that was writing his thesis and actually studying what was happening, I get having like zero reaction to the people's suicide.
Well, he knew what it was, right? Like
Yeah.
as soon as he said what the ritual was, he already knew. So, and he was coming in like purely from like a science angle. So he was much more prepared for it.
Yeah, but the boyfriend like just stood there, didn't really react too much, I guess, compared to the other foreigners.
Yeah.
And then immediately tried to get his girlfriend to stay. Like after it happened. Like, do you not remember, I don't know, 6 months ago when her sister successfully pulled that off and took 2 people with her?
Yeah, he's just big asshole though.
Yeah.
That character is like the least believable character in the movie. He doesn't have the balls to dump his girlfriend for like a year and a half, but then he goes to Sweden for like 2 days and he just suddenly has the balls to be like, yo, I'm taking your thesis over to his best friend. Also, he doesn't react to people committing suicide when he didn't know it was going to happen and all that. That character is just like an unbelievable character. He's just there to basically make people hate him.
And not only like not reacting to the suicide, but the fucking quattro of just making sure that old man actually died because he stayed straight up and landed on his feet.
Yeah, he's a retard.
You gotta go face first, kid. That's 101.
That's Sui 101.
Okay, I'm jumping off a cliff that I like. If I land properly, i.e., on my fucking face, I will die.
He was going for the femur through the fucking heart technique, dude.
That's the.
He also missed the rock.
Yeah, he fucked it.
Yeah, no, rocks are for pussies, Jeff. I'm gonna send my shin bone through my heart on the sand like a real man. Welcome to Sweden. Skull.
Yeah, that even that for I think it's called what's this? I can't say this word. Atestupa.
What?
That's what it's called.
What
That's right here.
The suicide cliff thing.
Scandinavian for kin precipice. What does it say? Denotes sites where ritual senicide or geronicide. That's
Geronicide! Is the killing of the elderly or their abandonment to death. Okay. I guess like back then in like Viking times it would make sense. But like we can't feed everyone through the winter. Janice, George, sorry, you're gonna have to go to the family cliff.
Yeah.
Because the special dance.
Yeah, and you have no like you don't offer anything else besides like forgetting to put salt in the salt pork.
Sorry, I knew there was one other ingredient.
So it's definitely interesting to see.
This time around, I spent a lot more time like looking up most of the runes that I could find, and it's kind of funny. Like if someone came in like knowing what those runes meant, like they'd be like, "This is kind of weird," because basically every single thing is like blatantly labeled like this is the sacrifice hut, and it's like, but it's all just in runes. So it's kind of weird that the guy that was studying it like didn't know some of them because he was like, oh, is this the this version or that version? And so he was like not equipped to like read the ones that were there, I guess. But if he had, like, it should have been very obvious what was going on. But the tapestry in the beginning, at least the way I interpret it, was like find like with the tendrils coming off of like the girl, kind of. I don't know if it was a representation of like what actually happened to her, or if their plan was to just be like remove her old life from her, and then be there to console her and then like recruit her. But that's kind of like what those panels showed. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but
yeah, right at the beginning is almost like a storyboard type deal.
Yeah. And then like most the runes like throughout the movie, they're obviously most of them are interpretations because they have multiple meanings. But what was the first one I came across? Let me see here.
Oh no.
Oh, the table, like the shape of the table, like that means family, that rune shape. And like that same table is kind of where they do like the funeral. Like it's kind of like a funeral with the person still alive. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and then with the it's crazy because even though they know, it was cool to see that even though you know like it's your time to die, and the whole time they're brought up, be like, hey, 72, like later. Even the woman still had that emotional reaction, be like, oh God, I'm going to die. Like that realization just after the shot, and you could see her fighting back the tears.
Yeah, they do a great job of just being like dealing with the emotion of like, it was essentially like coming to terms with like committing suicide and shit like that, like, which is what it was, but like in a group scenario is interesting. And another thing too is when like the redhead girl, the one that ends up fucking the other dude, she has like that little like prep moment. She's like, okay, I need to do this. Like I need to find someone to mate with. And then like she just picks him out of the crowd. And she's like, this guy, and I'm going to just do it. And like all of them have like this like directive that they're going to follow during this ceremony and shit. where they do their little huff puff to like hype themselves up.
Yeah, those ceremonies were graphic.
Yeah, like all the time. I don't understand why this cult.
So the very end where Christian's smashing the redhead, and then the old lady's just helping him along, and then everyone's moaning together. I think that was another thing. Like throughout the whole thing, like
it's
it
about
was-
communal emotion, whether
Yeah.
it's good or bad. It's I don't know. I've never really looked into it, but people like still do it where they like grieve together, like uncontrolled wailing and stuff like that. Like it's supposed to make you feel better, I guess. But yeah, like when one person's grieving, we all grieve to try to like understand that person, kind of deal.
One person fucking, we all fucking.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why she went
essentially.
and pushed his butt cheek. She's like, I don't like it, so therefore she doesn't like it. Get your ass in gear.
Yeah, let's go.
I didn't want to hear clapping.
Probably the thing that I would say broke me and Jordan when we watched it, but it was like the fucking spastic in the corner, or their oracle.
It's just fucking
It was
incest product.
Yeah.
In the corner, just watching.
Intentional
this happen.
incest, yeah.
Like, who thought that was a good idea? Why is his fucking art room the fuck shack? Because that's what it is. That's all that room is, really. Like, he paints, and then the others are like, well, this looks like this room, so let's jot that down. And he has to watch that? Well, I guess it's only once. Because this festival's only once every 90 years, unless that's the permanent fuck shack.
According to the director or whoever, the writer, whatever, the once every 90 years part is just the sacrifice of the 9 people. The rest of it still happens all the time.
Okay. Well, I guess that.
Yeah, well,
kinda
they always
makes
have to
sense.
get outside blood, right? Like that's
Yeah.
part of their thing.
So he's seen a lot of people smash.
Yeah.
That's not good for a kid. Especially one in his, like, position. I don't... Like, he's already the product of incest. I'm assuming they lock him in there because they don't want him to get out. He's got shit to write down.
Yeah.
Where do they get the paint from?
Berries and shit.
I guess, I don't know. There was a lot of different colors.
Poop.
Poop?
Yeah.
What about the purple paint?
I mean, there was like 4 houses out there. I'm pretty sure that area is just for their festival. They come in and go out. Because they were talking about watching like fucking Austin Powers and shit, right? They're not just like wood people.
The wood people.
Yeah, but I think that is their whole area though.
Yeah, because that's the commune. Like, he did say in the beginning they were fairly far out in the city. Like, I'm assuming maybe they just have one area that they got.
Yeah, I mean they all slept in like that barracks and shit. But yeah, they definitely didn't show like enough places that you'd be like, all right, yeah, it's believable that 40 or whatever people live here. But
That's true. And I guess, I mean, after they bring in the fresh harvest of humans and their sperms, they can steal their shit and go into town and buy some stuff.
Yeah, and I think that throughout the whole movie, like everything was foreshadowed, based
Yeah.
on the things that it would show on the walls or the paintings or anything like that. Even even when she was like on her bed, like that photo was like a giant bear over a little girl.
mm-hmm.
The painting on the
Oh,
wall.
yeah.
So the whole thing was, and even the pube cutting and the
Period blood in the juice.
yeah.
Why was that tapestry backwards? Does anyone know?
Which one?
The big tapestry that showed the like cutting of the pubes and putting it in food and putting the period blood in the drink. That one read from right to left, whereas everything else read from left to right.
I'm
well,
not too
the-
sure. It might have just been because that's where they were painting the cameras and they just fucking did it that way. But
Well,
I'm not sure.
the painting in the beginning was from left or right to left, was it not?
No, it's left to right. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she's grieving in the second scene, which should be like late winter, early spring. Then they travel to Sweden, and then the Mayflower Festival's on the end on the right.
Oh,
Mayflower
okay,
May
yeah.
Midsummer Festival.
What
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
what else was this? I get the mushroom trip in the beginning. That was
It's probably
um
the most realistic like high in a movie I've ever seen.
yeah, like the acting was either really well done or they were actually
Yeah, like
Sign
the
the same
fucking
contract.
feeling your arms and like the heavy breathing and just being like, oh fuck,
yeah.
and then like the sudden like the coming in and out of it, like suddenly just like oh I need to get up, like that kind of shit was awesome.
The whole movie sort
Did
of
you,
resembled a drug trip.
well they were high most of it,
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
like
like,
basically anytime they were drinking it was pretty much like mushroom tea. But
yeah,
did you notice? I noticed this watch through when she's like panicking. Um, all of the smiles and frowns are like super exaggerated. Did you guys notice that?
a
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah,
Did
even
you
like the other people like were warping and stuff too.
Yeah, that when at the end after she won the maypole dance or whatever it's called,
Mhm.
and she was like walking through the crowd, they all started to look incest to her. So I wonder if they all looked really fucked up and it was just they kept them on the mushrooms to somehow make themselves look normal, or if it was the drugs making them all look fucked up, even though she hadn't heard about the fact that they were like inbred and all that kind of stuff.
I don't think they were disfigured. Like, I think it was probably just drug
Yeah,
thing.
because a lot of the time the eyes were going like you could see them shifting and moving. So I think it was just her having a drug trip. Plus, it didn't really show up like when they were panning through it. Like the first dinner time, they showed a lot of the faces, and 99% of them seemed normal, from what I remember.
So that one angry guy after that guy pissed on the tree.
Yeah, well, you don't piss on my tree. My dad's in there. His dad.
Yeah, well, I mean that's basically like just going into a graveyard and pissing on a tombstone. So
Yeah. It was just shocking that he's like in the group he's like, "Hey, I got to go take a leak." And the guys was just like, "Okay." Like you think maybe give him some direction, be like, "Hey, you know what? Try to avoid that area."
Yeah, because it's one spot. I'm pretty sure everywhere else they would have been like, okay, it's nature. Like it's
Yeah.
not sacred ground. That's a big misstep on his part, not telling him about the sacred tree.
Well, I mean, that guy had like no real social or thought awareness at all, right? Like that guy just like opens up and starts talking about how Danny's like mother and father died and were killed and all that when she was clearly still upset and all this kind of stuff. He had no real like awareness of people's emotions or anything like that.
He's autistic.
yeah,
He vaped too
he was
much.
definitely something. He was like when they first got into like the field, he was like jumping all over the place because he's afraid of ticks.
Yeah. So excited for
um,
the trip, but I gotta jump around.
yeah.
So
Oh, another rune that was on the when they cut their hands and put it on the like I don't know tablet or whatever the fuck it was before they jumped. That was the Rado rune, and that's like rite of passage. Um, I'm assuming to the afterlife in this situation.
Okay, so bleed on the rune, hope you can get through.
I think the bleeding part was just I don't really know the significance of that, but that rune was there. And then the Wonjo rune is like the rune of pleasure. That's the one that she puts under his bed.
the love spell
She looked like
Yeah.
she just didn't get a lot of sleep.
or sun,
Yeah.
which is weird because it's midsummer and the sun's always up.
Yeah.
What's the rune that's the diamond with the X through it?
Where was that?
It was in the sacrifice shack.
That one is like a combination one. And from what I could tell, that one was sacrifice for fertility or yeah, fertility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what was, I think all the actors and actresses, um, I think they actually all did a great job. I don't think that the guy, um, Christian, I don't think that was the actor's fault that he was just a dipshit, but I think he portrayed like a piece of shit very well.
Yeah.
Given that, and Florence Pugh, who played Danny, um, she did a great job throughout the whole thing. That screaming at the beginning of the movie when she found out about her um, sister and parents was like bone chilling.
Yeah, the like fucking the way her throat catches and shit like that. You're like, man, this person is like actually grieving.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas you see like in some of the other movies where, you know, it cuts to the actor, or the actress that's supposed to be crying or grieving, and then it just shows them having to cover their face because they can't actually make tears happen in the
Where
moment.
you're like, are they crying or laughing? I don't really
Yeah.
know.
I think in Four Brothers is one that comes to mind in that when Marky Mark's in the bathroom.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
he puts water into his eyes on camera to make it look more like tears, and then he covers his face with a towel and he starts like trying to cry in that. Like it's still that one was okay, but it's stuff like that, and she played that well. That everyone played the drug trips very well. Especially I like the one guy. It was Mark. Who's he played by? Will Poulter. He's actually pretty good. When he was freaking out and he's just like, everyone needs to lay down.
Person.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with a new person. Everyone lay down on the ground. Oh, this is so nice. Josh, can you please lay down? Thank you.
Yeah,
That was one of the most realistic things because there's
For
always
sure.
one person at the drug trip that's just freaking the fuck out at all
Yeah.
times.
And Jordan pointed out that how quickly the trip changes on the hallucinogens based on like total simple things.
Yeah, like as soon as he said the word family, she's like, "Oh fuck, my
Yeah.
sister killed herself and my parents," and then she had a bad trip, and then everyone started laughing at her. Apparently,
Yeah. Or when she was in that dance and she was like weirded out and like starting to panic, and then she looked over to her right, saw one girl smile, and then she was like, "Hell yeah, let's go, let's do it."
I forgot we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Back to the competition.
Also,
yeah, the cult basically gave her like everything that she was missing. Like Pele or whatever his name was, like he was there for her, like for her birthday and all that shit, and like she had like sisters who supported her, and obviously like we don't know for sure, but it definitely seemed like her sister was like emotionally abusive and shit like that, and it just like everything falls into place. And I kind of wonder like how much of that was like they picked her out, but then it kind of seems like it was arbitrary, so I guess it just could have lined up perfectly for her. But it felt kind of believable that she would have fallen into that even after seeing fucked up shit, because she was just like, she needed a support system, and they were just like, yeah, we're here for you, and she was just like, okay.
Yeah, and I think they used the shock value of what went on, i.e. the old people jumping off the cliff, and the drugs to like break her psyche. So
Yeah,
by the end of the movie, everything just seems normal. Like, these people didn't steal me and kidnap me and brainwash me. They're here for me. These 7 women screaming at the same time, they feel my pain. They understand me. And I think that's why at the end of the movie, she, when her boyfriend in a bear suit got burned alive, she smiled really creepy.
well, that was her choice.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Do you want to kill him or Torbjorn? She's like, fuck that guy.
I saw him fucking the redhead with someone's help.
yeah.
He's dead to me, and he will be dead to everyone else soon. But I think that's when she fully embraced the, I'm a member now. We're family.
Yeah, which is, I don't know. The first time I watched this movie was definitely like Justin was giggling at every one of my reactions because I was like, "What the fuck? Like, why?" But and it's if you haven't seen it, we should have thrown a spoiler alert right at the beginning of this. But like if you haven't
Put it in
watched
post.
it, no, I'm too lazy. I won't post edit it in. Like watch this for the first time. I would almost suggest going into it with almost like a little buzz, just something to lower your inhibitions, and just either a little high, a little buzz. It just, I don't know. It definitely changes the way you watch the movie.
It enhances the experience.
Yeah.
I think I do want to watch it again sober, because I feel like I'll be watching the foreground a lot more. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but when I'm stoned, I tend to watch the background a lot to see if there's anything that I might miss the first time I watch it, and I end up missing half the story. Like, actually, you can probably attest to this. A lot of the times, I was like, "What the fuck are those people doing in the background?"
Yeah.
Like in the beginning when they first got to the commune, there was two guys just like staring lovingly into each other's eyes for like 5 minutes. They're just holding each other like 1 foot apart because we're not gay.
I mean, that's a theme throughout anyone in the community. They're all like very, like when he hugs his brother or anything like that. Like it's very, I don't know how to describe it. Like super intense.
Yeah, like they're very, very. It seems like everyone is in love with everyone.
Like they don't fuck around. It's like you're my family. I fucking love you.
You're my ride or die. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. It's 110% go. But another time there was two people that were just standing there, I think slightly leaning back, pointing. I don't know if that was like one of their ritual poses or whatever. And then near the end, there was a guy just standing off camera with his head cocked to the side, staring.
Yeah, when he ran naked into the chicken coop.
Yeah, and I was very concerned about that, but I think that was just the drugs, because I thought he was staring at me.
That's a lot of things of people doing weird shit in the background. They're probably all stoned as fuck, right?
Yeah, and there's one point I think they threw in for the people that are definitely watching this not sober, is when they like had the one little kid or the teenager. I think it was when after everyone took the drugs, the second or third time, and he just sort of like turned and looked at the camera. I didn't like it. I thought it was very well done. I didn't like it.
Yeah, that was at Suey Rock.
Oh yeah, fucking.
The kid had a stick. It wasn't the mush stick, but yeah. And then he turned, and you were just like, fourth wall break. Don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, solid movie. Absolutely solid movie. Now.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite movies for sure.
Have anyone seen or have you watched his other?
Hereditary? No, but I want to. I was kind of waiting in case we covered it or something. But...
Oh, it's possible. But what was it? Oh, Nicolas Cage said this movie was exciting. Gotta love Nick Cage.
Well, another note on that is this genre is technically pagan horror. I think is its own subgenre, so it's in the same category as The Wicker Man. For them bees. But this is kind of like a different side of it. Like The Wicker Man is kind of like if we were the guy in the bear suit's perspective.
I don't think I could ever call this movie exciting.
Oh no?
No, like does anything that happened really excite you?
Yeah, but it not in the way of like oh wow, explosions, boom boom boom, pow, guns and stuff. It was the tension more, like the scenes built up, and I think if you get sucked into the movie, you sort of like you feel the tension of the scene building up, like when they're lining up underneath the suicide rock or the suicide cliff, and you don't know what's happening, so like what's going through your mind. Like obviously I was talking out loud most of the time, but it was like I knew someone was jumping off a cliff in the movie. That's the only thing I knew about it. I was like, is she running up there and jumping off the cliff? Are they jumping off the cliff? What's going on? And I think that's what the movie does. It doesn't like, there's not just boom action. It builds.
Yeah, I guess it's just the definition of excitement then, right? I don't class that as exciting. I class that as tense, right? And it's probably just semantics.
Yeah. And what was it? Jordan Peele, who directed one of our other movie reviews. Go check out that one. He said the film had the most atrociously disturbing imagery I have ever seen on film.
Yeah,
Definitely when the old people get fucking crunched is definitely very visceral.
I don't know why when I think it was probably the first or second hit with the hammer on the second man. His face was a mess. Like he was definitely gone for sure. No heartbeat. Why'd they hit him again?
I guess just part of the ritual, right?
Yeah, I think it was like I don't. It's hard to say because they're all like a weird family thing, but like I'm guessing that was like his inner family or whatever.
I guess it makes sense.
Does it? That was my interpretation of it, and every member of the family gets a swing kind of deal.
I just like thought it was some like airplane shenanigans where like, oh shit, I gotta take over. Whack. Also,
any boomers get that reference?
by the third whack in my head, all I was like, I was thinking the cartoon like thump.
Yeah.
Anytime you hit a hammer in a cartoon, that's what I heard.
Thump.
It could also have been like, obviously it doesn't work as well when you're passing one hammer back and forth, but it could be like the firing squad thing, right? You have multiple people do it, so the death of or the murder of a person isn't on any one person's soul, so you don't know exactly which one of you killed him. Obviously, like I said, it doesn't work as well when you're using a hammer to crush someone's skull. But...
yeah, because you can pretty immediately tell, like, oh, I can see his brain. Probably gone. I don't want to be negative, but
yeah, the first one when he just stops all noise, you're like, well, I'm pretty sure that one did
it. Chicken coop guy.
The Blood Eagle?
Was he alive?
His lungs were still working. I can say that. I don't know about alive, but
I don't know how they did it unless they used that like the powder, the paralyzing powder.
It was definitely paralyzing powder, yeah.
Yeah, on him, and then so he was just strung up from the rafters, lungs ripped out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know why they buried the black guy, left his foot sticking out just to dig him back up and then burn him. I don't really understand what happened there.
Cleanse him as he did something naughty.
Yeah, he had a I think he had a death rune on his foot. Like I briefly saw that one. Yeah, I mean it depends, right? Like he was being punished. Like they had to like because he read their sacred book or whatever, so like he got punished. When they put what's his face's his face. They took his face off. The one guy, like they dressed him up as a jester, like because he was a fucking asshat and shit like that. So.
In the fool, right?
Yeah, and they cut his dick off because he pissed on the sacred tree, or he just was bad in bed.
Yeah, that guy.
She's gonna show me. But no one was suspicious when the girl's like, "Come, I show you," and then I would have been like, "Show me what?
Yeah.
What do you?"
Well, he thought he was gonna get laid.
That's true. I just don't. He's like, yeah, she's gonna show me. I'll be back, guys.
Yeah.
And that's how you lose your pee-pee in Sweden.
But it's filmed in Budapest.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be Sweden, right?
Fake Sweden. That's a fake pee-pee.
It's like Quebec, fake French.
Yeah.
Don't at me.
Oh, and in the when they were burning everything. And just before, and then that guy came in. He was like, "Here, the blood of the ewe to prevent the help with the pain, or whatever."
Yeah, that didn't do shit.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that guy just.
I think it was just like heroin paste or something, but definitely didn't have enough time to kick it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if you compared the size, like he had like a tiny little pea. The first guy, the older guy, and the other guy, like he globbed it like. Fucking, I haven't had any Nutella in 3 years. Give me the biggest spoon you have. Just
the first guy just had a numb tongue. He's just like that. Well, at least I won't feel it in my mouth.
Just starts screaming. He sounds like the Oracle.
Yeah, they've got some pretty intense drugs. Like, I mean, the Vikings definitely did eat a lot of mushrooms, but they have various drugs in this thing. They've got like mushroom tea. They've got fucking paralytic powder. They've got huffable Viagra. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, smoked Viagra. That was great. It's the new flavor. That's what you do. You do a little bit of mushroom tea mixed with dandelions, and you get your smoked smoked Viagra, and then you just rail a chick surrounded by a whole bunch of other ladies.
Yeah, that guy. I don't think they needed to like. He was going pretty good, and he would have been. I think he would have been fine without help at all. If like
they
if that
just
girl
wanted them to finish. They were like, "All right, dude,
just,
we're here for the nut, not you."
We don't give a shit about the journey. We just want to get to the destination.
Yeah.
we're not making
Just
a porno here.
give me
And
the
then the
sperms, let me roll
fucking
back and
old
forth.
lady, when he turns back after he's finished with like the missing tooth, he just grins at him. It's like, oh god.
You feel good? Then he runs out, and then it doesn't cover himself up until he's like, "Oh shit, 3 people."
There's dudes. I need to cover my dick from the other men.
Didn't even take time to wipe it off. What a gentleman.
Yeah.
Didn't offer to get her a towel, hand her linens to wear.
She didn't need to. She was rocking.
She'll keep it in there, rock it back and forth. Oh, then she felt the baby, and she's like, "All right, slap some lipstick on me. I'm pregnant."
Yeah, and then after everything was burning, she's fucking shaking around.
Well, yeah, that's probably not good for the baby, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you get the oracle.
That was interesting. Like instead of having it, like it was purposely bred, right? That's odd that that the oracle would be purposely bred.
It was unclouded by.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I don't know for sure. I've definitely seen it in various old world stuff where like I think even in like 300 and like Greek mythology and Viking stuff like that, they usually represent like the fucking weirdo blind guy or whatever as like an oracle character. But at the same time, like I don't like generally speaking, like in most old societies, like they would just get rid of deformed babies.
Yeah.
Like that's why Hel, like she was like rather than going to Valhalla, like you went to hell, and like she took care of like all the like unwanted children and shit.
Yeah, because even like, well, in 300, like the oracle was like a good looking girl, and then the people who
But she was like blind or something, wasn't she?
No, I think she was just doped up, and then the dudes who would interpret her messages, those ones were fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've never heard of them purposely breeding, but like obviously it happened because like incest was a pretty big thing back then. So
yeah, I think for them it's just a matter of like if we need another one, we know how to make it.
Yeah.
So like we have a never-ending supply.
Yeah. I guess so.
And the one in 300, they basically just stole the pretty children and gave them a lot of heroin and wrote down their mumblings. And they're like, "This is what the gods said." It's like, really? Yeah. Karen doesn't look too good. I need help. She's oh, the gods say she's fine.
All right. So without the odd sex rituals and burning people and the crazy sueys, should you guys go live in a commune?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, it depends on the situation, like on what it is, but I mean, in general, I think humans operate better in smaller communities where like you actually give a shit about the person next to you. Now, generally speaking, that leads to weird cult shit, though. So, I mean, in a perfect situation, I guess so, but most of them have some weirdo thing, like some religion attached to it. So.
We should just start our own. We'll call it a commune. We'll do it at the Forty Creek Farms. Everyone gets to farm a different vegetable, and that's your god. You're a god
I am the god of zucchini.
That's a fruit, damn it!
It's a crop. We're gonna need a lot more people though, because if it's one per family, like we only have 3 families here. Pick 3 vegetables that you have to eat for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but then there would be like the guy that gets pumpkin and is just like, man, my life's so fucking easy, and then like the person that gets like some fucking obnoxious thing that needs constant attention.
Like, the sun was 2 degrees to the left today. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, constantly battling like aphids and shit, and Pumpkin Guy's just like, man, I have a crop of like 2 billion. I've just planted them and left them
I
there.
didn't even mean to. I just had pumpkin seeds I was eating. And I was spitting them.
Yeah.
Speaking of seeds, the amount of seeds they put in that goddamn hole when she was blessing everything.
Bless the harvest. Where's it growing? You got a fucking foot by a foot hole, maybe, and you put all your grain there. Like, okay, it's gonna grow. She danced around it with a stick and some weed.
Yeah, I would have got a couple holes on that one.
How did she nail that first try? Like
What?
speaking the native language. I don't know what it is actually called.
They never explained it as far as I know, but she definitely, especially when she first got there, she spoke a tiny bit of Swedish.
Yeah, and I guess
I don't know why she knew it, but
maybe just
yeah.
from listening to her boyfriend and his friend, well, her boyfriend's friends, because the one guy.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but yeah, she definitely like had like an idea of what people were saying.
Or she was just trying to be a try hard at the, like, oh, Swedish Airlines better read the.
I'm gonna Duolingo on the plane when I'm not crying in the bathroom, or struggling not to cry, because if she let loose on that bathroom plane, like they would have landed. They would have an emergency landing. Like someone is clearly being stabbed.
Yeah.
Oh man, how did the film do it entirely? Made 47, almost 48 million. What was the budget on this motherfucker?
7, I think.
Really, eh? That's not too bad. That's already. Jordan wants to go. Oh, there you go. You want to go talk to this guy?
Yeah, I want to make sure he's doing okay. Or I want to find out what substances he was on when he wrote this fucking movie.
The strange thing. Oh, he did a film called Munchausen? Like about the syndrome?
No, it's the Snack House.
Or. Alright. But yeah, I don't know. I think a commune would be kind of cool. Like, minus the incest and everything like that. And, I don't know if I'd do a religious commune.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to live on a commune where I don't have ritual sacrifice. That's a hard, like, if you're not doing that, that's a hard pass for me. I'll start my own down the road.
Why? Why do you need ritual sacrifice? Just to get rid of someone you don't like?
Just, it's a goal, you know? Like, every year you have something to look forward to. Other than, like, okay, what is it this year again? I'm going to get my crops and then trade some crops with the neighbors. And then, we're going to sacrifice someone. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, that's definitely, like, what happened, right? Like, you're in a small tribe. There's, like, 20 of you. And you're the one that was, like, smart enough to fucking figure out a compass or whatever. So everyone listens to you. And you're just like, yeah, the god said kill Jerry. And you're just like, but Jerry's like, what the fuck?
What did I do?
What,
Jerry fucked my wife, so he's got to die now.
For all your goddamn pumpkins, Jerry.
You fucking think you got it so easy? Guess what? We don't need you, idiot.
Yeah.
There's 2 million pumpkins in that field, and they're just gonna keep growing. You fuck yourself and my wife.
Yeah.
Dead. Jump off the cliff. I wouldn't have a suicide cliff.
No? You go with the Kool-Aid?
No.
Pumpkin juice.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could do the pumpkin.
You just
juice.
stick a pumpkin on his head and duct tape it shut.
We bury him.
Suffocate.
Just bury his head in the dirt with the pumpkins, because
you bury his whole body except the pumpkin, and then you just put that on top and fill the ground with dirt.
If the crows get into the pumpkin, into the flesh, you're gonna have a good New Year. If not, you're gonna have a great New Year.
I'm okay with that Velcro thing, though. I like the Velcro better, just because you could just tell they're gonna be in the middle of the night, and then you just hear, Jerry, leave it on.
Why don't you get your hand out? Dig a bigger hole. Get back in there.
Yeah, it's an alarm system. It doesn't like keep it on.
Come on, guys.
Fucking, why is it me every year? Stop fucking my wife. Yeah, ritual sacrifice sounds like fun. You know.
I guess you could have fun with it. Like this, there's all different things. Like, hey, what if it's a surprise ritual sacrifice? Like
Happy birthday! Yeah. Last one. Sorry. No, I'm thinking like you use the bingo thing that they had.
Oh yeah,
Everyone throw your name in a hat. Someone's gonna pick it out. You're winning a PS5. You get Jerry's old crops. Sorry, you get deaded. You're in the
You
hole
lose
with
a
Jerry.
finger. Oh man.
That was kind of cool to see though. To bring it back to the movie, the bingo thing. That was actually like one of the kids brought that home with them.
Oh,
Like, that was very well done.
What do you mean one of the kids, the old folks from the movie, were just still using it for bingo every night?
Commune bingo.
That's how you play.
But it showed like because it was early on in the movie. It's like, hey, there's kids doing school. Oh, they're doing their runes. It's their rune, and so their runes are on the balls. And
Yeah.
that's their name. So that was
Yeah.
a neat little tie-in, other than just having like, oh yeah, those are kids doing school stuff. And it was like, why are they just drawing runes? Other than maybe it's like the alphabet time. But
Yeah, you learn the alphabet, you learn how to draw your name, and then you learn the fuck rune.
yeah.
So you can put it under the foreigner's bed and then make the babe.
Oh, you might not always get the foreigner's bed.
I don't want my brother's bed. Awkward. That's why you have the lottery. That's what it's used for, other than the incest lottery. Who's gonna make the next oracle?
Oh yeah, that's actually fucked. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because I mean, and how do they time it? Are they like without an oracle for a certain amount of time?
Well, I'm
That's
sure
what we
once he
started
dies,
doing.
they're like, all right, guys, like, can't be a year without
Gotta
an
fuck your
oracle. Like,
sister.
we gotta get going.
Are they just like, okay, his health is declining. Everyone mount your brothers and sisters, and whoever gets it
We'll just
first.
pick out the best one. They actually, to be honest, they probably had to do that. They probably just did do that. It was
Yeah,
like,
'cause I
okay,
mean-
we got like 10 of them, and we'll find the one that's like,
Whichever one lasts,
well, yeah, because like the death rate is probably really high.
and you can't use them again. And by that I mean that most.
Well, if they're dead, yes.
No.
that's true.
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you can't
most
use them
humans are
again.
single use only. So.
No, but children from incestuous relationships, most times, if I'm remembering correctly, are sterile. You can't just build off of that.
Well, why did you Google that?
I didn't Google it. It's just something I know. I know. I think it was the Wild Whites of West Virginia, which is a documentary about a family in West Virginia that is a lot.
Oh
of
right,
incest.
the like mega trash ones that like don't like can't even speak and shit.
Yeah, because they're
talking
products
dog
of
yips.
Yeah,
The one guy though, he
really
recognized
sad.
the director went back like a couple years later or something like that, and the guy started freaking out. But of course, he doesn't speak, so he's just like and pointing at the guy. He's like, "You remember me?" I mean, I think he said yes, but I could be mistaken.
I only saw a clip of that, and I was like, "Ugh, this is real sad."
Yeah, I think I watched it back in university because I was like, well, fuck it, why not, you know? I don't know what I was doing.
Morbid curiosity.
Yeah, I think I just heard about it, or I saw the trailer for it, and I thought one of the people was funny looking. I was like, I wonder if everyone looks like that. Let's see what this is about. And I didn't do any research, so I just saw the trailer, and I was like, that looks good. Download it, watch it. Regret.
No, I'm sad.
Just gotta take some mushrooms about it, and I'll be fine. Win the dance off.
Who is this motherfucker? All right, Google reviews. Show me this. This guy said it was unbearable, absurd nonsense from start to end. This is Hetvi Shaw.
Well, fuck that guy.
Fuck you,
Like,
Hetfish.
I like almost any movie. Holy, oh, never mind.
That's like 9 paragraphs. Do 3 sentences. Wow, very drug. Some suicide. Good movie.
This person says a real doozy. Yeah, a lot of people they rate them pretty high. Oh, this is why I rated it a 1. If you're a Stanley Kubrick fanboy, you may like this film and enjoy saying I've watched something special, a piece of art, or maybe this guy's English is just so bad. Oh, Amit Kur Sharma. All right, what else we got 6 minutes.
We gotta fill.
What was that? That was
6 minutes.
that guy's English fucked me up.
I did the mushrooms.
I don't know. You guys ever had any other movies that were like
That
better
like
on
stick
drugs?
with you.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't. I mean, movies that like I remember and like I want to watch again. The only two that come to mind for me is this one and Primer. Um, but I mean, that being said, I don't watch like a crazy amount of movies. So I mean, maybe
Here's a question.
doing this podcast, I'll find something else. But those are the only two that really stick out to me. Oh, and Princess Mononoke.
Have you watched The Life of Pi? Absolutely blazed out of your mind.
I did watch it many years ago. I don't remember if I was sober or not.
I
I
remember
think I was. I think I was bored, so I probably was sober.
probably. I remember the first time I watched it. Well, the first time I tried to watch it, I was very very gone. And a certain scene happened. I think it was when he was like in the ocean on the boat for the first time when he was a kid, and I had to shut it off because I got sucked right into the movie, and I was fucking terrified. Like my heart rate went up so much, I got nervous. I'm passing out. It's gonna happen.
That was like it was. I mean, it was 90% the drugs, but that was like me when the fucking samurai, black and white samurai movie was like they were fucking just cutting people up, and I was like, I am not in the right headspace for this.
I don't know. But that's one movie. Like I've watched it sober, and I do enjoy it sober. But Life of Pi is one of the ones that if I have the opportunity, I will watch it absolutely destroyed.
yeah.
Because it sucks you in. You get a part of the story, and the visuals in it are fucking amazing, especially when you're on drugs.
I think I need to do more drugs. You guys sound.
That's
You
always
fucking
the
love
answer, Jeff.
I'm just
Always
saying,
more
when
drugs.
this COVID shit passes, we could find mushrooms, and
I mean, I have
them.
I have a lead on mushrooms whenever you want them, bro.
Fuck yeah, it's gonna happen. Cure my sadness.
I mean, I don't do illegal drugs.
Yeah, all drugs are consumed legally. By mushrooms, we're talking about portobellos and creminis.
I mean, to be fair, mushrooms will probably be legal in Canada within the next 5 years, anyways, because them stocks be racking.
Hell yeah! Any way the government can make money off us.
Yeah.
If they want to see shit, see how fast they can give me their money. And for low fucking, it's gonna be like a 0.5 milligram mushroom. You're gonna be sitting on your toilet for 20 minutes. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, that'll be the great benefit of it hitting mainstream is that they'll be able to extract like just the psychedelic effect without the poop.
Don't you need poop to grow them though?
Well, I don't mean that part. I mean like making your bowels go like. Ooh.
Oh, I actually have
What?
never done mushrooms. So.
There's mushrooms in Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's the secret ingredient.
I do see stars when I'm pooping after.
I don't know.
Let me hear some of your thoughts on drugged up movies. What do you think is one of the best ones you've seen? Well, on legal substances.
Well, I think any movie I end up watching when I'm stoned or anything like that is always like Chinese or Japanese movies.
What do you think of Tokyo Gore Police?
I don't think I was stoned for that. I was drunk.
That was not a pleasurable experience for me.
Those taquitos were not that good. I remember those.
Those were like weird burnt turds that I was like, why are you guys eating those? And you were like, they're delicious.
I weigh 350 pounds. Fuck it.
Fucking send it.
Get it into me.
No, I don't think I have. Like I don't even know. Like there are certain movies that when I think of like for this movie, it's more of like the connection, like being immersed in the movie. There's very few movies that like I'll watch. I'll enjoy the movies. I don't know. I guess
I just remembered one. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I guess I'll just go off of just movies that like I get emotionally invested in. So, Pursuit of Happiness, that's a big one for me. I don't know why. What? Oh, something's going on there. Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness. The Odyssey, the Last Avengers movie, that one got me at certain points.
Squirt a few man tears.
Yeah, just for the fact that like you went on a 10-year journey with some of these characters. So
You get choked on now.
No,
No,
I'm not. But yeah, I think there was another Will Smith movie that also did it. Not The Pursuit of Happiness, but
That was
something
the
else.
jellyfish one, right?
Oh yeah, 7 pounds.
Yeah, that's the one.
7 pounds. Yeah, that one. I don't know why, but just those like few. There's few movies that I actually like get emotionally connected with, and those are certain ones that just come
I
to
don't
mind.
I don't think I've seen either of those, but yeah, I mean, definitely like there are sad movies where I get pretty teary. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's definitely movies where I'm just like I'm definitely invested enough to like cry at the end and shit. But another movie I thought of that's awesome, well stoned that I watched. I forget when it was. 2 weeks ago, I think. Into the Spider-Verse. That movie is like visually awesome.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not really into like Spider-Man that much, but that movie was a trip.
yeah, because they shot it like comic book style.
Yeah,
That's the art style
it's
they did.
I
and
honestly,
like whenever they're doing that time travel shit, like that's a fucking kaleidoscope. I'm like, holy fuck.
used a lot of fractals in there.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I didn't enjoy it. The first time I watched it stoned, I didn't enjoy it, but that's because usually when I'm high, I'm looking in the background. But in that movie, everything in the fucking background is blurred out because it's not important to the story. So I'm like, I'm just staring at blur for half of this. Fuck. So I had to watch it again. And
I
actually
don't have that
focus.
problem, but yeah, everyone had said it was like such an amazing movie. I'm like, I'm really not into superhero movies, but I'll give it a shot, and I definitely did not regret it. It was good.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff? What about any of the 10 movies you've ever watched in your life? Really quick.
No.
Jeff's never felt anything about any media.
The only thing that's ever gotten to me was there was one episode of House where he was like trying to figure out what happened to Amber when she was like in her coma and dying. And I think this is what happened. And he took like a whole bunch of drugs to like basically walk through his own mind kind of thing. And then she told him he had to go back and to like the real world when he was like spasming in the real world and having like a seizure because he took too many drugs. And his like psyche him said, I don't want to go back, it doesn't hurt here. That one always makes me tear up because it was just like my headspace back then was always that was like the way I thought was death wouldn't hurt anymore.
Yeah. What about, did you cry at the World of Warcraft movie?
Because it was so shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I mean, that movie I knew was bad just based off the fucking trailers. So
What else? What else? What about video games? You've been playing a lot more single player video games. Has there any been that like that get you invested like that? I don't know if there is.
There's
Minecraft.
uh,
Hello Kitty.
I don't know.
I cry every time.
My big thing is just like it's fiction. These are fictional characters. I don't really get invested in that kind of stuff.
for me, the Banner. I didn't like the last game, but the Banner Saga series, definitely I was emotionally connected to those characters. And in that game, like basically any character can die. So like they're not afraid to just be like, oh, this is your favorite character. Well, they're fucking dead now. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I think the last time I had like an emotional reaction, although it was very slight, was in Destiny 2 when they killed off Cade 6.
Yeah.
I did. I was just like, that's like the way they did it, with the scene and everything, and the mission was fantastic. But when it happened, I was still like, fuck. And I balled it up. I just pushed it down.
Was Cade the like over the top Deadpool kind of character, like Deadpool personality character?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, voiced by Nathan Fillion.
Why don't all of his characters die?
I don't know. He's got Sean Bean syndrome.
He doesn't have like a single character that like lives through a series.
Firefly. Granted, the show.
I mean, that
canceled,
show
but-
died though.
The show didn't make it through.
But they had a movie, and in the movie, thing got resolved, and he didn't have the nerve and didn't get pinched, so he didn't just freeze up and get killed by the guy with a sword. Anyways, I think Midsommar was probably about a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 for
Yeah,
you?
great visuals. It really, really sucks you in a lot of the time, unless you're with your brother who you can't make sarcastic comments with.
Yeah, that was bad.
Sucks us out of the movie every time. And most of the messages were pretty good. Do mushrooms in a field, not near a cliff.
Yep.
Justin, what did you think of the movie? What's your rating?
Just the way it's shot, the audio, I think I would probably say it's like a 8.5, and I'll give it a straight 9, just because it also has like Nordic shit in it, which is just like my interest. What did Jeff call me, a sweetaboo or some shit? So yeah, I give it like a 9 out of 10. This movie pretty much, like, I don't really like horror movies, and this movie is not really a horror movie, but like that type, and I still really enjoy it even through that. So yeah, I really like this movie.
Jeff, how about you? What did you think of the movie?
I'll give it like a 5.5 or something like that. I found it to be a very slow burning movie with a lot of scenes that didn't. I shouldn't say a lot of scenes. There was some scenes that just like didn't add anything to the actual story. They just like were their own little microcosm. Like the scene when they first got to, not when they first got to like their first little pit stop and they started doing mushrooms, and it was an enjoyable scene, that's for sure, but it didn't actually have anything to do with like any part of the movie whatsoever.
All right.
So yeah, I found it a little slow, and they did like weird bait and switches. Like the whole beginning of the first part of the movie, they were like panning over like frost tipped pine trees and whatnot, and then suddenly did like a quote unquote audio jump scare by going to a really loud ringing phone. Whereas those, there wasn't credits rolling or anything like that. It was just fucking pine trees that were frost tipped, and there had nothing to do with the movie either. It was just so that they could do like a jump scare cut kind of thing like that. There was a bunch of like weird shit like that. And they like, one thing I did notice though, and I'm not sure if I liked it or if I disliked it, but the music in it was almost not, I shouldn't say almost always, a lot of the times reversed from what you would think. Because while they were like driving up, they had already landed the plane in Sweden, and they were driving up, it was looking at all the pretty scenery but doing like a bunch of ominous music. But then when the guy was talking about how the 72-year-olds were going to kill themselves kind of thing, it was playing like happy-go-lucky music, and it was always doing like the opposite of what it should almost. I don't really understand why.
I think it was to send a little bit of the message, like they think it's a good thing, so that's why there was positive music, and then it was sort of the it's coming to a shit show. That's why it was playing the spooky tunes going up to the suicide camp.
Be better if I was inebriated of some sort, but
We can always try again. Zach, what did you think?
I'm gonna give it a solid, say 8. Give it an 8. Shot well. The actors did like the main actors did a phenomenal job in it. Visuals were great. Had the foreshadowing. Once you finish watching the movie, you realize like, hey, he actually like told you like the journey was there already. So I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
All right, so we got a 7, an 8, 5.5, and an 8. So that's,
I gave it a 9.
you gave it a 9. Shit, my calculations are off. Oh no.
29.5 or like 7.5.
Yeah, 7.38.
Not bad.
Definitely recommend it. Obviously, you're gonna want to get stoned as long as you're over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, I don't know why you're listening to this. This is not appropriate. Tell your mom you're grounded. Give me your phone.
Go follow us on the YouTubes, the Spotify, There's a Twitter that sometimes gets posted on. Yeah, thanks for listening. Honestly, hope that everything got caught because it seemed that my OBS bugged out at some point. So
Well, it's still it says it's recording,
yeah,
but we'll find out in post.
all right.
The Prestigi is next.
The Prestigi is next. The Prestigi is our next movie review. So tune in next week.
Watch this.
Guess what? I'll make a prediction.
Oh.
Jeff's gonna hate it.
Yeah. Too many top hats. I don't like it.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you.